Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. My name is Ishmael Ramsey, and I'm here to present my assignment on exploring the concept of pleasure, positive emotions, and flow by engaging in real life activities. Before I get into the meat and potatoes of this assignment, first I want to address the objectives. The first objective is the introduction, where I briefly introduce the concepts of pleasure, positive emotions, and flow. The second objective is the activities overview, where I describe the activities I choose and why. The third objective is the reflection highlights, where I summarize key insights from my journal entries. And the fourth and final objective is the creative artifact explanation, where I explain my visual and artistic representation of how it relates to my experiences. Okay, let's finally introduce this assignment. As we know, this assignment compass around the concept of pleasure, positive emotions, and flow. These concepts are rooted in positive psychology. What is positive psychology, you may ask? According to Christopher Peterson, 2006, positive psychology is a scientific study of what goes right in life, from birth to death and all the stops in between. One of the main assumptions is the goal of positive psychology is to make the normal life more fulfilling for both individuals and institutions as it builds on the best things in life, according to UWI Global Campus 2024. Positive psychology is a newly Christian approach within psychology that takes seriously the examination of that which makes life most worth living. Now, let's look at the first concept, which is pleasure. Pleasure is defined as the broad class of mental states that you experience as positive, enjoyable, satisfying, gratifying, and thus worth seeking. Patterson, 2006, notes that pleasure encompasses a family of subjective positive psychological states that range from the raw feels of the body to the higher pleasure of the mind. It encompasses a range of experiences from a simple physical pleasure like enjoying a delicious meal to emotional joys such as spending time with loved ones. The key aspects of positive the key aspects of pleasure in positive psychology includes intermediate gratification, which is a pleasure often short term and can arise from engaging in enjoyable activities. Also, sensory experience, which frequently involves the senses such as taste, touch, sight, sound, and smell. Also, it entails subjective well-being, which is pleasure contributes to an individual overall sense of happiness and life satisfaction. It also encompasses the contrast between idiomia, which is while pleasure focuses on intermediate experiences, it is often contrasted with eudaimonia, which refers to a deeper sense of meaning and purpose in life. In positive psychology, cultivating pleasure is seen as an important component of well-being, com- complementing the pursuit of deeper and more meaningful experiences. Now let's look at the concept of positive emotions, which is in contrast to pleasure. It says positive emotions, unlike pleasure, are more than subjective feelings. They are psychological states defined by the subjective feelings, but which is also include characteristic patterns of psychological arousal, thoughts, and behaviors as noted by Patterson 2006. Emotions are more prolonged than fleeting sensation associated with pleasure. They play a crucial role in promoting mental health and overall life satisfaction. The key aspects of positive emotion includes broadening effect, which is positive emotion expand awareness and encourage exploration, creativity, and social connection. It also evolves well-being, which is regularly experiencing positive emotion is linked to increased overall happiness, life satisfaction, and physical health. It also encompasses motivation, which is positive emotions can motivate individuals to pursue goals and engage in pro-social behaviors, fostering community and relationship. It also encompasses resilience, which is experiencing positive emotions can help individuals cope with stress and adversity, contributing to greater resilience. In summary, positive emotions are essential for enhancing well being, encouraging growth, and building strong social connections. Now, let's look at the final concept, which is flow. Flow is referred to a mental state in which a person is fully immersed in an activity, experiencing deep enjoyment and concentration. Coined by psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, flow occurs when there is a perfect balance between the challenges of the task and the individual's skill. Key characteristics of flow include intense focus, complete concentration on the activity, loss of self consciousness, a sense of merging with the activity, often leading to a diminished awareness of oneself. Distort sense of time. Time may seem to pass quickly or slowly depending on the engagement level. Intrinsic motivation. The activity is rewarding in itself depending of external rewards. Flow is often associated with enhanced performance and creativity, making it a desirable state for both personal fulfillment and professional productivity. Now, let's take a look at my activities overview. For this assignment, I chose three activities that exemplify the concept of pleasure, positive emotions, and flow, each uniquely enriching my experience and well being. For pleasure, I decided to indulge in my favorite anime genre, Isekai. The vibrant animation, the captivating storyline, and the complex characters provide a delightful escape from reality. As you know, the concept of pleasure encompasses something that you enjoy. I truly enjoy watching anime. And for positive emotion, I coordinated a special bonding day with my beautiful fiance. It was her birthday, and I decided to indulge in several activities with her. This time together allowed us to disconnect from our daily routine and focus on one another. And we know that what separates positive emotion from pleasure is that positive emotion is more prolonged. You build up better relationship with someone that you tend to spend your life together. You know, those simple things would be prolonged in this case. And for pleasure, I chose to play the trumpet with the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force band. This engagement with the band pushed my ability while also fostering a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose. As you know, flow is more immersive, something that lose, um, you lost track of time and so forth, which is, when you play music, that's something that always happen. You so immersed in the music, you lose track of time. So those are my three activities I chose for these concepts. Now we're moving on to the reflection highlights, which summarize the insights from my journal entries that documents my experience before and after me indulging in these activities. Now, here's my first journal entry. This journal entry was taken on the concept of pleasure. The activity for this journal entry was watching anime. And after a draining day, I found excitement in watching Shinjuri La Frontier, a unique take on the isekai genre, which is, you know, one of my favorite genres. Like, I love isekai anime. But unlike typical isekai stories, the protagonist, Hakuro Hisutami, is alive and obsessed with beating poorly made VR games. He challenges himself with a difficult game, leading to humorous moments like dying at the first boss. The colorful visuals and engaging plot allow me to escape into a creative world, making me imagine immersive VR experiences. After a few episodes, my stress faded, replaced with relaxation and enjoyment. This experience highlights the importance of taking time for myself and engaging in activities that bring happiness, and reminded me to prioritize enjoyment in my daily life, which encompass around the concept of pleasure, which is enjoyment. My second journal entry, which revolves around the concept of positive emotions. For this concept, I indulge in spending time with my fiance. I felt anxious about, the gift I chose for my fiance. Um, you know, a little backstory is, you know, this is a gift that I, picked out about 5 months prior, and when it's time to make the big purchase, I was like, I don't know if it's gonna fit her wrist. I don't know if she's gonna like it because she always says she don't know what she likes. So I was really anxious about the gift I bought her. But seeing her brighten my mood, even though she would have, preferred perfume because I was like presented her with a gift. She was like, it's a nice gift, but I would have preferred more perfume. And then fast forward, while waiting for her here a nail appointment, I appreciated her happiness, which made the time spent worthwhile. At a professional photo shoot, I overcome also my insecurities with the photographer helped me with, because I always, you know, deem myself as being unphotogenic, and this also allows me and my fiance to have a deeper connection, with us posing for the photo shoots, and we were laughing and all those stuff. We capped off the night with a beautiful ocean view dinner. We had laughter and shared stories, shared our bonds. Overall, the day highlighted the importance of nurturing a relationship and left me feeling profoundly happy and content. And this is what I was talking about with, you know, the concept of pleasure being a not a fleeting emotion, but a more prolonged one, because as a relationship is something that it should last, and when you feel content with that relationship, I guess it's a more prolonged feeling per se. And last but not least, and the most difficult of all the tasks that I indulged myself in for this assignment, and it was revolving around the concept of flow, which I chose the activity of playing the trumpet with a band. Before band practice, I felt both excited and apprehensive about keeping up with experienced musicians. However, as we rehearsed for the National Heroes Day ceremony and the Independence Day parade, I became fully immersed in the music. The challenging pieces test my ability, but the camaraderie with my fellow musicians made it enjoyable. We practice multiple times a week, indulging in grueling matching sessions, and the actual event was even more demanding under the sun. Despite moments of doubt, the joy of creating music together with my band members was fulfilling. By the end, I felt proud of my progress and perseverance, reinforcing my love for music and highlighting the importance of pursuing passion. It was also an honor to serve my country and feel a sense of patriotism. This activity literally pushed me to my limit. I was so focused, and you will see it later in the pictures. I was so focused on not fainting that I, at a point where I, stopped, you know, focusing on playing the music and just focusing on persevering. Like, I need to make it to the end because the matching and everything was a lot. And, as I say, I lost sense of time. It brought me to a place I never thought I would have been because I doubt my ability to do something like that, like stand up for hours and match in the hot sun and play music and in front of everybody. So it pushed me to a new level in me playing music and brought me to a place where I felt pride and all of those sort, and I'm very proud of myself. And let's move on to the other segment. This section entails of the creative artifact explanation, where I explain the visual and artistic representation of how it relates to my experience. The first artifact revolves around pleasure, and this was based on me watching anime. As you can see, Shinjuro La Frontier. This is a thumbnail I received from Google, and just to show how it is compelling. Compelling in the sense of the characters, the vast cast of characters was very compelling to me. And the second picture going on the right next to it, which brought me a sense of suspense, is the seven bosses in the game. Um, these are quote unquote bosses that are unbeatable. They're programmed to be unbeatable, but the main protagonist somehow beat one of the bosses. Them. So it brought me a sense of suspense to, me waiting to figure out how he beat the other bosses. And the third picture, which is the last one going to the right, which is I label as immersive because this was just me. I take a picture on my phone of my TV screen, and this was me binge watching the entire series because it was so immersive. I couldn't stop watching. I was like, let me take a picture for as one of my artifacts. And the first picture on the left, on the lower column, is a it's called a collage that I made with the main protagonist, and I label it hilarious because the picture on the top is him first starting out the game, right, thinking that the game is gonna be easy, and he was skipping through most of the tutorial stuff, skipping through the first boss, the tutorial boss skipping through the first city where he was supposed to, go and, like a normal playthrough, he skipped through all that. And he somehow ran into one of the first unbeatable boss, which he lost to in a funny way, because now there was like saying like how you do all that, you didn't even play the tutorials, run to the game, and then you lost. And then, as you can see, there are scars on his body where he received from losing to the first unbeatable boss, which now impedes his ability to equip certain gears. And the picture on the left of that, which is I label as touching, because was the second unbeatable boss that he fought against, which he did beat, surprisingly. And is labeled as touching because this boss, I think his name was Weatherman, and his lover died. So he cursed himself to not die so he can wait until, I guess, she reincarnates or wherever. So he spent his entire life waiting for her. So her ghost spoke to the main protagonist and saying to, relieve him from what is called he's waiting, and then when the main protagonist finally beat the boss, um, he was released from just being as you say, a cyborg, just waiting for his lover to get reincarnated. So after he beat the boss, he dies, and then he was rejoined with his lover, and that's why I put touching. And for the last picture that I labeled captivating, this was the fight between the main cast and Weatherman, and these a collage of different snippets from the fight. And this here ends my artifact on pleasure, and now we move on to the novel artifacts. Now here is the long-awaited artifacts that I compiled for positive emotions. The first picture that is labeled anxious is the gift I got for my fiance, the gift that I thought that she wouldn't have liked, but she kinda liked, but she preferred perfume. The second picture going down that I label as happy. As you can see, my beautiful fiance is smiling, that she, happy that she got her hair done, which I was also happy because, seeing her happy made me happy. And also bring me joy, which is labeled as the third picture going down with her doing her nails. She always complain about, she need to go do her nails. And, I sat there and seeing her, enjoy herself, which also brought me joy. I know it kind of sound kind of cliche. And the second picture in the center that I labeled togetherness, we spend time together taking pictures for our pre-wedding photo shoot. You know, us, coming up with different poses to take for the photo shoot. And going on the right of that, which I labeled nervous. This was before we went in to dress up to do the photo shoot. I was really nervous because, like I said, not photogenic at all. But thanks to the photographer, um, I was able to look a bit photogenic. And going back to the center below, the one that says togetherness, what I label feeling, is us at a restaurant that we went to that name Arthur's. You could say it's a high class, exclusive restaurant that's on a beach. Label feeling because the food was filling, it was enjoyable. Spent time eating, chatting it up, talking about all the other activities we did throughout the day. So it was not only feeling nourishingly, it was feeling emotionally. And the last picture that I labeled as harmony, that I took of the moon behind some clouds, I saw it and I was like, let me take a picture to document how the moonlight over the ocean, and us, enjoying the background to our dinner, and gazing at the beautiful moonlight, and enjoying our last minutes of the our time together, because the restaurant was closing as well. Like, we were the last persons in the restaurant while it was closing. So we spent our last moments during closing time looking at the moonlight. And the last artifact, which encompass around the concept of flow, as you can see, there are no words, no descriptions, no anything. And this is because the whole experience had me speechless. Like, I have no words to really describe what I experienced during this time. There are pictures of us marching through the streets, Keon Street, that we left Warner Park after, we did the whole Independence Parade. We marching, having to wait for inspection, like standing in the hot sun, you know, sweating. Like, Dean had a chance to drink water. There are also pictures of night practice that I talked about in my full detailed journal entry. We had night practice, long rolling practice, and the picture to the far right is me first putting on my ceremonial wear with the baronet and the belt around my waist, and the one just left of that is me in practice with in my camouflage wear, where we had sit down practice, and in the center is the first picture I took for this whole entire activity. Was for the Heroes Day memorial um, ceremony. I asked, my Captain Charles, the tallest guy in the picture. I said, "Hey, Captain Charles, can I take a picture for this assignment?" That, I briefly mentioned the assignment to him, and then he gathered everyone. I was like, "Everyone, let's, take a picture with the youngest member," which I'm not. Then he changed his mouth and said, "Let's take a picture with the newest member of the band." And this is how the picture came about. And coming to the right again is us marching to the street of Keon, going back to the army camp. It's probably like a 30 minutes, if not more, march from Warner Park back to base camp, the army camp, in the hot sun. And the last photo is a picture of, as I call him, young Rodney. His name is Rodney, but we call him young Rodney. And he was my inspiration throughout the whole entire ordeal. Not ordeal, but it's an ordeal because it was really, really tough on me. Because I literally thought I was going to faint the whole entire time. But due to him, I had more perseverance because he's the youngest member of the band. And I don't even know if you can see how much he's sweating in the photo, just to show how hot the sun was. But he's the youngest member in the band. I said to myself, if Rodney can do it, I can do it. And that's how I persevered through the whole thing. And a crazy thing about this story, Rodney's dad is also in the band. And Rodney's dad actually fainted alongside other persons, because this happened every year. People faint due to how hot the sun was. So Rodney dad fainted, but Rodney persevered. So that's just Rodney was like big motivation throughout this whole immersive event, this immersive activity. As I bring this assignment to a close, I realize that throughout these activities, I experienced the nuance of pleasure, positive emotions, and flow. Each activity contributed uniquely to my well being, reminding me of the importance of intentionally engagement in experiences that fosters joy, connection, and immersion. This assignment not only enhanced my understanding of positive psychology concepts, but also encouraged me to incorporate these enriching experiences into my daily life. Here ends my presentation. I hope you enjoy and thank you for your time.